Happening right now at the Texas Capitol. This is a live look inside the hearing of the Joint Committee investigating the deadly 2025 floods. It's been another emotional day as lawmakers hear testimony about what happened at Camp Mystic in Kerr County.
That's where 25 young campers, their 2 teenage counselors, and the camp's director died, leaving state lawmakers questioning if the family that owns the camp, the Eastlands, should be able to keep running it. KVUE's Daniel Perot is live at the state capitol. And Daniel, the owners of Camp Mystic spoke directly to the families who lost their daughters today.
At the very start of his testimony, Edward Eastland, one of the directors of the Camp Mystic Guadalupe River campus, offered a tearful apology, sitting just feet away from families who lost loved ones at Camp Mystic. He told them that they tried their hardest that night to save the girls. It just was not enough. Edward says that he and his father, Dick Eastland, made a desperate attempt to try to save the girls. Once they realized how bad the flooding was in those early morning hours, both were swept away by high water, and Dick eventually died. As part of their questioning, state lawmakers asked the Eastlands why they did not make a last-ditch effort to try to get on the PA system at the camp and tell everybody to get to higher ground. Edward said that he was so focused on rescuing the next cabin of girls, he never thought to do that, adding their actions were based on what they learned from previous floods over the years. Edward says that he thinks what he could have done differently every day.
These girls were our youngest campers, and they're amazing counselors who we watched grow up. The world was a better place with them in it. And the anger at us for not being able to keep them safe feels completely reasonable.
Camp Mystic has applied for a license to reopen its Cypress Lake campus this summer. That's on higher ground, and it is not where the girls died last summer. That'll be up to the Texas Department of State Health Services to decide whether Camp Mystic gets that license. But today, State Senator Charles Perry told camp leaders if they do get a license, they should view it as a one-time thing, because he says he will push hard in the 2027 legislative session to change any statute or rules that allow Camp Mystic to get a license after that.
And my perspective is, if y'all are left as a operator in any form or fashion, what deterrent does that send to another operator that I can have kids die on my watch and still be an operator?
I don't remember. I don't think we had a conversation.
Mary Liz Eastland says that her family might be willing to step back and take a pause from running the camp if that's what's needed to allow Camp Mystic to continue. Several state lawmakers question whether the camp is truly ready to reopen, pointing to the letter that state regulators sent Camp Mystic last week, outlining more than 20 deficiencies with its emergency plan. Camp Mystic leaders testified today that they have fixed all those deficiencies and say the camp plans to submit a brand new plan to the state in the coming days. State regulators are also expected to testify later today from the state health agency. State lawmakers certainly going to have some questions for them about Camp Mystic's request for a new license, as well as the fact that a state inspector went and approved Camp Mystic's emergency plan just 2 days before the deadly flooding. We also expect to hear from several families whose daughters were at Camp Mystic last summer. At the Texas Capitol, Daniel Perot, KVUE News.